And we're back. With some more oxygen not included. And this was meant to be an episode, but it's going to turn out to be more of a post-mortem because I think this playthrough is done. Problem is they've made a few changes on the side while I was away, and one of the main changes they made is they've changed how radiation is handled in this game now. Well, check out Zach over here. Zach's radiation levels are pretty low right now, but they're coming in to do a tiny bit of farming. Oh wait, no, they were just dropping stuff off. Where's one of our farmers over here? Nope, still not. The main problem is they've changed how radiation works. Now, it used to be you had to cram all of your food around the reactor so you could get enough radiation to grow your exuberant plants or your mutated plants. Now, well, yeah, the radiation levels out here are 5,000. Like, there's 5,000 rads right there. It's up to about 500 something here. And even going across the top here, anyone standing up here is being exposed to about 3,000 to 4,000 rads of radiation. And they appear to have also changed the rad suits. They now block 66% of the rads. But let's just have a quick look at this one going to harvest. You can see the absorbed rad dose is going up just way too rapidly. Our farmers are getting lots of radiation sickness constantly. I've started breaking out the rad pills, but no, they're going to end up dead just from radiation exposure in a pretty short while. Oh, there's someone radiation vomiting. Who is it? Oh, Meep. Yeah, Meep's up to a lot of rads. We've even got them on anti-rad medication right now, but it's not quite working out. They've been on it for a couple of days and the rad levels are still going up slowly but surely. So I'm not redesigning the entire food section. I mean, on one hand, I'm kind of annoyed that they've changed everything, but on the other hand, it does kind of make sense that building your farms this close to unshielded nuclear reactors would be a little bit dangerous. This is where we're going to need lead shielding in future to make this, well, more viable. Because as it was when I was first building this, I was trying to get all the plants as close as possible to get as many rads as possible to increase the chances of mutations. Now it seems you want to keep them a little bit further away to decrease the chance of your dupes getting mutated. But let's have a quick go over all the wonderful things we learned on this playthrough, because there was some interesting things that happened. I think one of the simpler ones was, oh no, not the water tank. Yeah, this geothermal desalinator. This lasted far longer than I thought it would. We were dumping just absolutely gallons and gallons of polluted water, dirty water, salt water, everything in here just to boil it and turn it into clean water, which we were then able to store in our liquid tank. Our liquid tank, which got ridiculously out of hand really quickly. Like every single kilo of water in there has been boiled by this geothermal desalinator, or whatever you want to call it, cleansing system. And there's still plenty of heat left down here. As well as that, we're now pumping magma down here. So we're pumping magma from other planets to just keep this going even longer. I think with a little bit of micromanagement and maybe harvesting magma from other planets, you could keep this going forever if you wanted to. Is it worth it? Maybe not. But the amount of water you can get out of it and just the simplifications it does in some areas, maybe on the odd playthrough. Oh, and Watato. Aku has been thirsty. They have drunk, well, they've drunk only about half the planet. Half the planet is gone and they've consumed, what, they've got 40 million calories worth of bristleberries out of it so far. That's kind of impressive, not going to lie. I was kind of looking forward to getting this to the point where we'd cook it all up, because could you imagine how long it would take to cook 80,000 calories of bristleberry? The plan was to decommission the farms once all the water was gone and then switch this place over to cooking only and then fire that back to the tree. But they've also changed the tree. As well as that, they've patched interplanetary launchers. Now it turns out if they're underwater and underneath, now what is it, tiles, they can't launch anymore. I think water was confusing their tile launching before, because we were able to fire payloads through solid surfaces, which was, you know, a little bit broken. I mean, only a tiny bit. How's the radiation looking here? Yeah, the rads here are also getting a little uncomfortable, but they're far enough away that the rad dosages is actually pretty minor. As long as they stay below 60 for the day, their one bathroom trip sorts them out. But yeah, quite impressed with how this worked out. This turning the entire water planet into a farm, I would do it again, totally. Now on to our slightly less successful farming planet. Yeah, this one, okay, the tungsten volcanoes, yeah, they were awesome. But this idea of, well, the plan here originally was to take all the BAM lilies and mutate them into lice lily to get food, which we would then feed to the experiment 52B to get resin. Unfortunately, the mutation rates are just so low, it's just not worth the effort of doing this with BAM lily. However, the amount of seeds you get out, oh my god. We have 12,147 units of BAM lily seed left, and wait a minute, why is there no fish in here? Okay, something's broken on this. Doesn't matter. We were able to run 3 fish consistently, feeding them BAM lily seeds, and effectively they're free, as long as you've got one farmer to do it. I mean, if we grab our farmer there, Ralph, there you are. RAF has an agriculture skill of 26, which gives them a plus 86% chance of seeds. Plus, plants just have a 10% base chance of doing it anyway. And, yep, there's a seed. And how about the next one? Will you give us a seed? 96% chance? Yep, we got another seed. So with one of these farmers, you can just make so many seeds and run a whole bunch of fish. Which is good, because eating fish now reduces your rad exposure. It actually helps you with radiation exposure. Well, that had already been in, but it wasn't really necessary. But I'm thinking now that radiation is such a big problem, I'm thinking combining rad suits with fish is probably going to be the only way to really work around reactors safely. It stacks, it seems, and reduces your radiation exposure to about 11. You only absorb about 11% of the rads combining the two of them together, which... yeah, I think that's going to be very necessary in future. One other thing they appear to have done is changed how the tree works. For example, we have about 1,000 kilos or 1,000 kilocalories of Pacu fillet there. And we'll see here that when we go to the tree, it's actually developing resin at about, for every 1,000 calories, you get about 5 kilos of resin. And done. There we go. It actually spits it out. So I don't know what exactly has changed here, but as far as I can tell, you need an awful lot less food to make resin. I'm going to have to do some more research on that, but it might mean that making giant farms like this might not be quite as necessary. Oh, and also under radiation, they now have a radiation lamp, which emits radiation when power that can be collected by a rad ball generator. That might also be useful for running plants. We'll have to do some experimenting around with that later. And as for Tostibo, we pumped so much magma out of here. The amount of magma we removed from this place is just ridiculous. This here is all of the magma removed. Each one of those contains, 27 tons of magma. And we filled up every single last one of them. 2 cargo containers at a time. Now, true, we're slowly draining that down and sending that down to the bottom of the map to get, well, used for desalination purposes. But still, that was an awful lot of magma moving. Unfortunately, we can't really finish it off just now because, well, our dupes are going to die from radiation exposure unless we make some massive changes. But the plan was quite simple. All we had to do was get this set up. Now, which was the right one here? Was it this one? Nope. Damn it. It would be, well, there was a whole bunch of automation I was going to have to sort out. But the general plan was this would open up, drop down all the magma that's above there. The rocket would then land afterwards. And that should just about fill it up without leaving any air gaps. We didn't want any air gaps in there because, well, the problem was this rocket was going to be landing and giving off gases. Oh, actually, there might be a gap tossed up. Well, for example, if this was a steam rocket, it would leave a bunch of steam in the silo afterwards. So just say we grab this here, seal off the top. Oh, yeah, that was going to be a problem. But, never mind. It turns out it's a problem we're not going to have to deal with. Which, almost a good thing. And then we'd seal off the top. Open up this sucker on the sides, and then push the whole thing through, rotating all the magma right back on top. Oh, and someone's getting more radiation poisoning. Yeah, that's going to keep going. And with all of that magma gone, where is it? Yeah, that one is, I think, the second last one to close. Yeah, that was a safety feature, and then that there. That should force all the magma right back over the top to cover the silo up. Though, yeah, it definitely would have needed some work. I'm not sure how we would have managed the steam. Or if we went with CO2 or radiation, that would even get more complicated. Because the plan would have been to have the rocket land down here, take all the niobium from this section, and then fly it back to the home planet. And for landing purposes, I was thinking that we would actually land the rocket in the water tank. As in, we'd have it fly all the way down here, land about this section, and then we could offload the niobium directly into the desalinator so that we could destroy all the heat in here. How well that would have worked, I'm not sure. We probably would have managed it. I'm pretty sure it would have been messy. However, there were a few fun things we learned along the way. One, nuclear waste. Compress it. Compress a whole bunch of it. If you want to get rads, yeah, this is the way to do it. Look at that, 178,000 rads per cycle in that tile. And all that is just nuclear waste on the bottom and a little blob of petroleum on top. Well, 200 kilos of petroleum on top. And then you just dump all your nuclear waste in there from your reactor, and all of that nuclear waste just sits in there, generating you as much rads as you could possibly desire. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, they've made a bunch of changes here to how rads are covered, but yeah, let's not go over that. Though the main one is the sky now produces 250 rads per cycle. That's a lot. Your dupes are going to need some shielding if they're going to be spending any significant amount of time outdoors at all. As well as that, these exuberant plants, every time you harvest them, they release 4 kilos of rot pile. This is meant to be a negative. However, rot pile can be composted and turned into dirt. So all of the stuff that was harvested here, it all gets shipped down to this section, and all of the rot pile gets dropped off here. And you'll notice we just can't compost it fast enough. There is so much polluted dirt. It's ridiculous. Our dirt is up to 435 kilos. Now, it's not self-sustaining by any means, as in the amount of rot pile produced by the sleep wheat doesn't pay for the amount of dirt we use. But however, you got to remember, we're also running bristle blossoms and pincher pepper nuts, so they also produce rot pile on their own, and they have slightly different grow times. It's interesting. I'm pretty sure this is coming out positive with the bristle blossoms, because they have a wild growth cycle of 6 cycles when you add a domestic of 1.4, meaning they're producing about 4 kilos of dirt every 1.5 cycles, each one of them. It's kind of crazy. So I would definitely recommend playing around with exuberant mutated plants. They are just incredibly useful. As well as that, using beta hives, using these for refinement of uranium, definitely a no-brainer. They're so handy to use, and once you've got a few of them in a place, they just make life so much easier. They're just more efficient. They're no power requirements. You just stick them off in a corner, keep them in a vacuum, and you're good to go. A little bit sad we never got to finish off this rocket silo, but we'll be back for more oxygen not included in a bit. I think the next series up will be whatever wins the poll we're going to be putting up. I'm guessing it's going to be between Satisfactory and Kenshi, and based on past results, I'm guessing Satisfactory is going to take the crown. Oh, and I still have to finish that Factorio playthrough first. That one with all the trains, yeah, that's got to go through anyway. Anyway, sorry we never got to finish this one off. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck.